Yes. Uh-huh. Now, just reading this, in the past decade, an international legal framework has developed to tackle corruption. Yes. This framework includes the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, or the UNCAC, which entered into force in 2005 and currently has 168 parties. Yes. And the Convention on Combating Bribery of Foreign Public Officials in International Business Transactions. Yeah. Which entered into force in 1999 and includes 40 state parties. Now, at the regional level, the International Anti-Corruption Framework also includes the Inter-American Convention Against Corruption, yeah, which entered into force in 1997 and whose parties include countries of the Organization of American States. Oh. African Union's Convention on Preventing and Combating Corruption, yeah, which was adopted in 2003 and has 33 African members. The Council of Europe's Criminal Law Convention on Corruption, yeah, adopted in 1998, and Civil Law Convention on Corruption adopted in 1999, yeah. And then there's the European Union's anti-corruption policy outlined in Article 29 on the Treaty on European Union, carried out via two main instruments, the Convention on the Protection of the European Committee's Financial Interests, and the Convention Against Corruption involving European officials or officials of member states of the European Union, 1997. Now, it's good that we've entered all these different conventions. Yes. But I happen to have emailed the European Union. Yeah. Could you get me all their employees again that have any knowledge of the corruption of using forgery and fraud, right, to oppress American citizens? Yes, because of the refusal to enforce the laws. Now, I mentioned that I'm going to sue the European Union, and quite possibly now I'm going to sue the actual employees of the European Union that had an obligation to obligate the United States to enforce these international conventions. Oh. So just give me all the member states, the officials of the member states of the European Union. This is Paul. Over here in the United States, yes, we have somebody that thinks they're God. And they like to oppress the American citizens. But I just wanted to know the United States involvement in these conventions of corruption involving officials or member states. I know the European Union has an obligation for the enforcement of these conventions. Yes. Then there's the Council of Europe's Criminal Law Convention on Corruption adopted in 1998. Yeah. Give me the Council of Europe, the individuals as employees of the Council of Europe. Yeah. I just wanted to know when you have knowledge of the violating, I'm going to sue you as a council and quite possibly the individual employees of that council. Now, Africa, it's Paul. I emailed a lot of African nations about my want of the use of Africa. Yes. Why don't you get me the employees of the African Union's Convention on Preventing and Combating Corruption and find out if the 33 African members, yes, have any knowledge of the United States of America. You know, it seems mean for me to sue third world nations, but my thought is, well, if you don't want your money, I do. Now, Inter-American Convention Against Corruption, which entered into force in 1997. Yeah. And the parties include the member countries of the Organization of American States. Yes. Could you get me the American states? Is that South American or is it North American? Is it Central American? Just give me the member states of the Inter-American Convention Against Corruption. Because I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go through every convention of every nation of the world. I'll tell you.